Hello everyone. We are running subway service to get essential employees to work. If you don't have to travel, please stay at home. It's for everyone's health and safety. If you're here because you have to be.
My name is Rollin Simmons, and I'm a pharmacy technician at New York Presbyterian Columbia campus here in Washington Heights.
My name is Charlene. I'm an occupational therapist at a hospital in New York City. I also tested positive for COVID-19 on March 30th and returned to work on April 24th.
I'm the physicist that designed spectrometers that are being used to help identify and to quantify and to study effects and investigate. So we've had some activity related.
My name is Dave. I'm a nurse. I work in a hospital in Manhattan, and I just wanted to talk to you about my experience during the COVID-19 pandemic.
My name is Dr. Nihas Wagel. I work in a hospital in Queens, New York.
My name is Anna. I came to New York City from Dallas, Texas to help in the COVID-19 crisis.
My name is Adrian Dutchin. I'm an essential worker. As you can see, I work for UPS.
My name is Marina. I'm working La Bomboniera 30 years. I didn't close single day since that.
My name's Renee, and I'm the assistant director of a hospital laboratory.
I'm Angie Marr, and I'm the executive chef and owner of the Beatrice Inn in the West Village.
My name is Jerry Ardavanelli. I work with my brothers Frank and Joe. We've been in business on Bleecker Street in the Village for about 70 years.
I became an RN last year, April 1st, 2018.
My name is Vanessa Gutierrez, and I'm a radiologist technologist. I work for a diagnostic radiology center in Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
My name is Jack Normand. I work for Care Ambulance, primarily out of Lakewood, Cerritos, East LA, and Huntington Park.
I'm Elizabeth Vaneski. I'm a nurse practitioner in occupational health here at one of the New York City hospitals.
Hi, my name is Adam Blanco.
My name is Juan Nunez.
My name is Leroy Brown.
My name is Kate. I'm Jessica Haller.
I work at Part of the Solution, a pantry that's in the Bronx and the Kingsbridge area. Basically, we're here to feed the community, and the reason I do it because this is something that I enjoy. I love cooking, and it's the only way to make sure that everybody gets a nutritional balanced meal during this crisis.
This is Justin with Oslo Coffee. I'm here with Jeff, and we've been open this whole time during the pandemic, and we're just hanging in there, taking it day by day.
My name is Cassandra. I go by Chef Cass, and I own a restaurant in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Hi, my name is Lawrence Edelman. I'm the chef and owner of Left Bank Restaurant and Poulet Sans Tête in the West Village.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years.
12 years. Anything like this besides 9/11?
Never, not in my 12 years. Never seen anything like it.
So ultimately, I wear 3 masks because I go throughout the hospital. So I don't know which unit I'm going to walk in day to day and what situation I'm walking in. So I start with my inside mask, which is my basic surgical mask. And next, I cover it with my N95. Now, with the N95, it protects, it gives me a level of protection from droplets in the air, because your basic surgical mask is it's effective, but when you're going into a COVID unit, like I said, we don't know exactly what we're fighting, so we want to have the most level of protection possible. And in order to reuse my N95, I have to cover it with an outside mask. So ultimately, I have 3 masks, and as you can see, it gets pretty hot, and I'm wearing these for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Well, I'm overwhelmed from
all of this, but my mother, Alice, who would have been 88 in August, passed away on the 15th of COVID. She was in Southside Hospital, one of the Northwell Hospital facilities, and they took excellent care of her, but she ended up on a ventilator. They tried to wean her from it, but she failed the wean, and then she was placed on it a second time. And then she was on it for several more days, and then they tried to wean her off her again, and she failed. And at that point, the doctors told us that they would have to trach her and put her back on the ventilator for the rest of her life. So the family made a decision to do palliative care, where she was kept comfortable and given oxygen, and after several hours, she went to God. And it's hard, really hard, but she's at peace now. And that's what we want everybody to be, is to be well and at peace.
At my sickest, I literally had every symptom you could possibly have had. I had shortness of breath, I had low oxygen levels, I had fever-induced hallucinations, and just very bone-deep fatigue. I'm still not quite at 100% yet, but I'm getting there, and slowly but surely I will eventually make it back to normal, hopefully.
The reason I came is because the calling that God placed on my life when I was a little girl was to be a nurse. I remember visiting my great-grandmother in the nursing home and just telling my mom, hearing the patients, yell, and the odor, and just how I knew, and I told my mom that I needed to help take care of these people. Ironically enough, when I came to New York, I got assigned to a skilled nursing home where we've helped patients rehabilitate after having the virus. We've provided a lot of end-of-life care, but thankfully several have survived that are still living there. One particular patient that I took care of did die, and the entire time throughout her death, her daughter and I spoke on the phone. I held her hand till that last moment, and that will probably impact the rest of my life.
My help is not on the front lines. It's all safely here, and it's behind the scenes. You can't pretend it isn't real when desperate people are calling for help. People who were there, who were fighting, and she hears this. She overhears it in the background. She walks in the middle of it. It brings it very close to home.
I don't want our son to feel our anxiety. I want him to see Mommy strong and everything is going to be okay. I want him to just get up, run outside, play in the grass with our puppy. And that's where I'm at.
This time for me means the importance of family, not being able to hug my mom, my dad, my nieces and nephews, my cousins, and seeing them through a TV screen and not physically being able to spend time with them. That's probably been the hardest thing the last 5 to 6 months.
You can see it in their eyes that they're scared, hoping this flies by quicker than what it is.
We had difficult problems when the Twin Towers with the Storm Sandy, but this time kind of scary. But still, I did it because we are New Yorkers and we are stronger.
I realized that there's so many people here that rely on their paychecks here to feed their families. And, just as a New Yorker, I have an obligation to be here for the community and the city of New York.
These are very trying times now. We've never experienced this before, and we thank our loyal customers who still come in and shop with us.
The concerns that I have right now are, what is the city going to do once all the crisis relief workers leave? So our staffing agency had to fill at least 4 or 5 hotels full of healthcare workers. And so if the second wave occurs, what's going to happen to the city? I can only pray that they'll be prepared.
The last 4 weeks for me has been very challenging, even though that we are apart. It brought us closer, families, friends, co-workers. This is a very challenging time for me and for the rest of us. I've been around since 9/11, and it's quite an experience for me, learning and growing and seeing just being together and being able to help everybody and making this city a safer city for everybody to live. When I leave from work and I go home, it's always another way of me doing things. I go into the garage and I actually change all my clothes, and I go right into taking a shower and making sure that I'm well prepared to meet the challenges inside the household, and hopefully that nothing comes in.
The hardest part is hearing the fear in people's voices. They're scared. They're scared not even so much for themselves, but they're afraid to bring something home to their family. They're afraid of job insecurity. They don't want to miss work, but they have to due to policies at times. And I just hate to see any aggression toward each other out of fear or out of not trusting that we're giving them all the best that we can.
To going up and helping out people during this time. We all felt that this was our job. We'd been, given the opportunity to learn a craft that people rely on us, and we willingly went out there, and I think we all just thought it was part of our normal duty.
Hey, being out here in these streets in these dangerous times, it's challenging. But listen, I have my face mask, I have my gloves, so I'm well equipped and ready.
Every sample that comes through the lab is like family to me, so I did what I had to do. It took quite a bit to change a hospital that does specialty surgery into something to take care of COVID patients. I hope that we learn from this whole experience, and everybody, this new normal makes us all better people.
At my hospital, when a COVID positive patient was discharged, they played over the loudspeaker Brave by Sarah Bareilles to show that we're having improvements in the hospital. So whenever you heard it over the loudspeaker from whatever part of the hospital, you knew that someone was being discharged. So that was one happy story of COVID. This 33-year-old did get to go home without any oxygen support, and he survived COVID.
The joy on people's face when you bring their packages, knowing that they can't go and get it themselves, it's a good feeling, it's a blessing. I'm safe, I'm good. You should be safe, you should be good.
And since the shutdown from COVID, we've been running only Poulet Sans Tête, which is our rotisserie chicken delivery service, which has been open for a year. So we're taking donations of $10 from people, and we're using that money to cook and deliver meals to the frontline workers in hospitals. So we bring it to them while they're at work, and they can have it for lunch or dinner or whatever. And it feels great to do it, and they need it.
This is a fight. This is a fight that we don't see an end to, and one that you can be hit by that you don't know is coming. So it's a fight, but in spite of it, we're moving on, and we're going to keep it. We're going to keep fighting, yes.
Most people are willing to help each other. That's human nature. When you see people in need, human nature, we help each other out. There's more good in the world than bad. I just think a lot of times the good don't get highlighted as much as the bad.
It's one of those things, when you look at a lot of people that service community, whether it's Mother Teresa, who would put her hands on the lepers without gloves, without anything. It's just, you got a lot of these people during history that put people before themselves.
I just love people, and I think that they need a lot of help, and I think that people should be treated with dignity, and I want to help them before they have to ask.
I have walked in the shoes of the families that we service. I know what it's like to not have money for food and not be able to take care of your children the way you would like to.
What inspires me is my own community and seeing them build relationships and ties, familial ties together. I'm so inspired by our own team and them just volunteering their time, and it is difficult to be able to afford to work for free, but the fact that they're devoting this and they're dedicated, that inspires me.
Are you scared for your
On April 7th, I lost my mom to COVID-19.
I'm sorry.
And I was grieving, but I also realized there was a lot of people that are grieving like me, and I decided to turn my grieving into giving back.
If you don't have to travel, please stay at home. It's for everyone's health.
I have so many friends who are afraid, and when I post about what I'm doing with South Brooklyn Mutual Aid, I always get a donation from those posts because they're like, look at Josh. He's risking his life. Let me at least donate,
And I figured, I'm an able-bodied. I have some time, and I might as well put me to use, I was thinking about it today. I was like, if I come late or if I do this or that, like these people are showing up for no reason other than like to help. There's no recognition, obviously, besides some.
Well, I'm extremely scared for my health. I go out every day and I scare totally about my health. Yes.
Well, listen, it's challenging. It's challenging. So many people. So we've never been flooded like this before. Even worse than Christmas, but we're getting the job done. And we're thankful.
These patients were different than my normal patients because they required a lot of oxygen support and just monitoring 24/7 because at any point they could desat and lose their oxygen.
Our patients are the employees, and these employees include not only the nurses and the doctors, but also the IT, housekeeping, security, administration across the board. So we're responsible to keep them safe, to keep them informed, and to bring some kind of comfort or consistency as much as possible to our employees. Status quo is gone. We've really gone into crisis and disaster mode. Policies have been just head spinning.
One day I came to work and I knew that a lot of the patients on the floor were sick, very sick, and probably in their last moments, all who were suffering from COVID. And I had an 87-year-old woman, and I walked in the room and I knew right away, I looked and it looked like she was probably going to pass away in the next few hours. As a younger nurse, I've seen death, but not a lot of death. I knew I needed to call this patient's family members so that they could have the opportunity to FaceTime and say their final goodbyes to their mom. So I had talked on the phone with her two daughters, and I was never ever prepared to, FaceTime the family members of this woman who was on her bed taking her last breaths, and she was dying. And she did pass away later that day. And I got to be there for her as she was dying, taking her last breaths, but it just pains me that the last time her family saw her was over FaceTime, and it pains me that this was just one case of so many from COVID who passed away without their loved ones by their side. From this experience, I feel lucky to have been a nurse and been there for their family members during their toughest, most vulnerable times. people who lost their lives and suffered from this coronavirus.
Yeah, they have to come in 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. That's where we give out the groceries, and then 12:30 to 3:30 we give people lunch. That can't come, we call them up, we find out how much food they need, and then we try to deliver to people as much as our capacity allows us to.
First of all, I feel very privileged in the pandemic to have had COVID in March, and I got over it, and I have antibodies, so I don't feel like I'm taking any personal risks by being here among people.
You will see people coming here every day, every single day from Monday to Friday to get food, either in the morning or in the afternoon.
I used to work for a travel company, travel wholesale company, and was laid off on March 31st at the start of the pandemic. And then now I'm working part-time here at part of the solution, helping bag groceries.
I'm here, I'm a current employee, I'm part of the solution at 2759 Webster Avenue. Right behind you, right here, we got a bunch of pantry bags that we bag every single day, from Monday to Friday.
I have 4 kids at home, but I also have a husband who's underemployed right now, so he's home with them. And it's just heartbreaking when people don't have enough to eat.
How bad is the crisis right now for you?
Right now, the crisis is very bad because our pantry numbers have tripled. Within the last 2.5 months, we went from 87 to almost 250 a day, feeding families from all over the Bronx community.
I want to say thank you, Leroy. You're doing a great job.
Thank you guys, and hopefully we can get through this pandemic with everybody with a full stomach.
Thank you.
What scared me the most was not so much getting sick myself, but making my daughter sick, whom I live with.
I probably didn't take it as serious as I should have until it hit closer to home.
The risk of each encounter has increased. So to deal with that, we take appropriate actions such as the masks, gloves, eye protection. I remove all my work clothes and put it in the back of my truck and change into civilian clothing before heading home. And then my dirty work clothes stay in the back of my truck until I take them to the laundromat.
Some customers are still getting too close, and we tell them to stay 6 feet away, and they are listening, but it's still scary up there.
It's been an emotional roller coaster. I was very scared a lot of the time. When the virus was first being broadcast on the news and talking about how contagious and potentially deadly it is, I stopped allowing my family to visit my house. I wouldn't visit my family at their house either. I have 2 young children and a wife at home that I was trying to maintain as much distance as possible. I went about 2 months without kissing my wife or kids, and that was heartbreaking. There were a few instances where my kids would run up to me after work looking for a hug, and I had to, scream, "Stop, stay away. Daddy's dirty. I have to go take a shower first," and that was heartbreaking.
I think my biggest fear going forward is that other medical health professionals as well as the general population will struggle with mental health issues in regards to just trying to survive COVID rather than having the time to really be able to take stock of what's happening and with social distancing and not being able to be with family and friends. So hopefully going forward, people will continue to be kind to each other and take care of each other as far after this is over as possible.
Nights I stayed up worried. Did I get exposed today? Was I careful? Did I wear my PPE right? I don't have a will. Should I write a will? Should I write my girls a letter? A lot of dark thoughts were running through my mind, and was pretty terrible. At the end of the day, it was my family that I got up and went to work for every day, and my patients. So I essentially did what I had to do. Put on my PPE, went to work, and I was just as careful as possible. And thankfully, so far, okay.
Keeping my sanity has not been easy. I'm trying to take my own advice, which I give all the time, to get the exercise in, hydrate, to reach out to people I love every day, to let them know I care. And I'm very lucky because I go home to a secure home and to a very supportive husband. I'm extremely lucky.
Hello everyone. We are running subway service to get essential employees to work. If you don't have to travel, please stay at home. It's for everyone's health and safety.